go, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend. Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
That's right, The Brink of Sanity, episode 133.
Jay,
Well, it feels like we just did a show.
I'm glad you have the heat on here, because I like to be sweaty next to you.
Yeah, I have no control. It didn't go on for 3 days, and now it's like blasting out of control right now.
So this is episode 55 of the New York Knicks podcast?
We are actually not doing the New York Knicks podcast.
But I have a whole rant about Carmelo.
Yeah, well...
Brink of Sanity, we are on. It's like we did an episode, how long ago, Bri?
Oh, God, it feels like it was just yesterday.
Anything awful happened to you since last episode?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't get up to take a piss and like break your leg or anything?
No, I don't know. Not yet.
Any other more family members die?
Nobody's
That's
called
not.
me, so I don't think so.
All right, Marc and Bri, just like last episode, because it's 5 minutes later and I'm counting as the second episode.
Okay. Now you're like revealing the man behind
Yeah,
it.
because you really didn't do that at the end of last episode.
Oh my God, you guys, the Venga bus is coming?
Stop reading random Twitter posts. It's not interesting or cool. or
So,
funny.
you know what's going to go on tonight? And this is why this show is going to be dated. The government is shutting down tonight.
By tonight, we mean 10 days ago.
I can't believe the government is shutting down tonight 10 days ago. I can't believe that thing happened.
I was watching...
It would be great if we did a show a couple weeks ago, and the entire show was about how Japan's a wonderful place to visit. You guys should go to Japan. It's great. And then people write in like, you cruel fuckers.
I swear we pre-record our shows weeks ahead of time.
That one you did after the week before 9/11 that you released the day after. The towers are wonderful. If you're coming to New York, you should just like fly your plane like right into the towers.
The view from up there is amazing. Everyone go to the top floor.
The one you did in 1940. If you're a Jew, you should totally go to Germany.
I was watching...
I'm going to Haiti tomorrow.
Haiti, we're like 3 catastrophes ahead of Haiti. Nobody cares about Haiti.
Do you know what
anymore.
the problem also is? Like, so Japan is like ready for like disaster, and it's pretty awful there. But Haiti was completely unready. Haiti's a shit pile still. It's been like over 6 months, and like people now are like, let's donate money to Japan, and Haiti's like, you don't understand. We're still a shit pile. We need the help.
Yeah, we're like, oh, yeah, that was so last month.
Didn't you
Shut
figure
up,
that shit
Haiti.
out? I mean, between your earthquake and like Lindsay Lohan's last freakout and Charlie Sheen, we just forgot about you.
Well, this is what I found funny because I watched. I had Fox News on while I eat because I like to get really angry before the show because I feel like it gives me more energy and riles me up. So they did a.
You're angry that Glenn Beck is leaving? I am angry that Glenn Beck
I can't
is
get
leaving,
over it.
too.
I can't get over. They did a 5-minute. I like to call it bit because I feel like everything on Fox News.
I
is
thought
a
you were going to
bit.
do current events of a week old.
I don't care. I really don't care. When I start getting listeners again, I'll care. I am going to do shows regularly, so maybe I will get listeners. Anyway, they did a 5-minute thing on how the government is shutting down. All right? Opened up with it. Okay.
I understand why you
shutting
do
down.
that. It's kind of an important event.
Mm-hmm. Then they did 35 minutes on how Pia Toscano got voted off American Idol, and it's such a travesty, and they can't believe it because she was so much better than the guy they stayed on. 35 minutes compared to 5 minutes for our government shutting down.
I'll tell you my
Fox News, everybody.
conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. Obama and his Muslim Brotherhood are trying to take Pia down.
Could be. They were. They brought out experts to try and break it down. They interviewed people on the street.
Obama's going to impregnate Pia. Pia's going to give birth. They're going to send that baby to a training camp in Hawaii because that's now the place where they raise terrorists. And that terrorist will fly a plane into a house on a random street in Iowa.
Maybe. So yeah, this is what our news gets us. 5 minutes, just a passing. Our country went bankrupt.
To be fair, I didn't watch American Idol at all this season, and I saw that coverage of her losing, and she's pretty hot. I would have watched more episodes if they just advertised it better that she was hot, and they should have had her in a bikini.
They're so confused as to why she got voted off. The average viewer of that show is a 16-year-old girl, and the guy who stayed on is like.
If I can interrupt here for 1 second, Jay.
Yeah, sure.
You're on the show.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you have done like 40 episodes of the podcast.
Yeah, the premise of your rant was that Fox News was only spent 5 minutes on the shutdown and a half hour on American Idol, which is exactly what you two guys are doing now.
That is funny. The best part of all this was that Jay's rant, it's not even Fox News, it was Fox Local News. Which isn't even like you're usually mad the local news didn't cover actual news.
What's the difference?
The local news is some piece of shit that doesn't they just cover things
I
that
don't
are
have
hoping to
the
get ratings.
option to turn on Fox Major News, and I'm sure that would have been really different.
You have Time Warner Cable. You have the option to do whatever you want.
Yeah, Time Warner. That's great. They sent me a letter saying, we're going to raise your bill $16 a month. So I called them up. I said, you raised my bill $16 a month. And they said, yeah, that's because we decided to charge $16 more a month.
That is the... I have a choice in my apartment building, which is nice. I can get Time Warner or not have cable.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the choice I have,
free
too,
market capitalism we have going in our country.
We don't have a monopoly.
Yeah.
You can choose to not watch TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, after today, I am seriously considering.
Yeah, well, I mean, so if you look at Fox News in general, the whole government shutdown... They say it's a communist conspiracy from the terrorist that is our president. If you watch MSNBC, they say the Republicans are screwing our country and they're so selfish, which is actually true.
Yeah, I mean...
So, hang on. So, Jay was telling me before, he said, so one of my friends told me, this was what he was talking about this website the government doesn't want you to know about. This website that'll tell you the real news that's going on. Mm-hmm. So what's that website? I want to find out what these real news stories.
We can't just go to a website and start reading while we're doing a live show.
No, go to the website. Come on. Jay was telling me, what was the conspiracy you were telling me you thought was real? Oh, the government planned the shutdown 6 years ago as a way to create a universal currency between Canada and Mexico and the United States, a la the euro in Europe.
The Amero.
The Amero, which obviously... We don't even let Mexicans in our country, so we're going to create a currency.
Yeah, because we don't have 20,000 a day crossing the border.
Yeah, but at least people rant about that. Let's see what else you have. Decade late. Oh, well, it's true.
Yeah, it's true shit. It's not like I'm reading the Weekly World News.
You do kind of read.
This bit isn't going anywhere because you just got it way over your head.
I'm looking for a good conspiracy on there. Go to the top of the page.
It's not going to be like a ridiculous conspiracy. This is actual journalism.
Okay.
Anyway, Infowars.
Mole men are shutting down the government.
Infowars.com. It's actually real information.
Okay.
When I say conspiracy theories, I mean...
Lyndon LaRouche exposes the face of evil. Congress delivered articles of impeachment for tyrant Obama. Government shutdown equivalent of bombing innocent civilians.
Yeah, this bit isn't going anywhere.
This bit's terrible. Okay, so the government's being shut down.
It's actually a real site with real information. It's just that it's not like what the government would want you to read about.
I don't know your politics. What do you think about the government shutdown?
I don't know. I think the whole thing is just a bunch of bullshit.
The Republicans are claiming there is a debt crisis. Do you believe there's a debt crisis?
Well, I mean, we have $1 trillion worth of debt, and they want to cut Planned Parenthood and shit for the poor, but they don't want the rich people to have to give any money back. They don't want to cut defense spending. I mean, this whole thing in Libya was just a way to justify the defense budget so that we have all these planes and we have all these missiles just in case something happens. I never hear – I want to see – you know what I want them to cut? If you want to avoid a shutdown and you want to have a balanced budget and you want to get rid of the debt, why don't we cut NASA in half? What do we need NASA for at this point? Why do we need to go to Mars
like
right now?
0.4% of the budget. You know that,
but it's still billions and billions.
Yeah, they get a shitload of money.
It's a lot.
But it's like 0.4% of the budget. It's not that
But
much.
it's a shitload of money, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Like, why do we need to have a Mars rover right now? Don't we have bigger problems than that? I mean, unless Osama bin Laden's over there. Maybe he's on Mars somewhere.
How about just cut it to one war at a time? I actually messaged.
Well, no.
And
See, and that's the other. Misnomer that's going on.
Do you know who Gil Heron is? I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Right.
Hold on a minute.
Sorry.
That's the other misnomer about this war is that the reason you want to know why they're not bringing the troops home in either of these wars? Because we got 10 million people on unemployment right now. Then we're going to have more people come in and not have jobs for them.
Well, we could pay them to do shit in America as opposed to paying them to do shit over there.
We're not going to pay them once the shutdown starts anyway.
Just keep paying them. Bring them back here and pay them to do something here. At least it'll contribute to society. So, Gil, hang on. This is a good.
Are you a Republican?
I'll take Gil Scott Heron. He's this famous.
Never trust anybody with 3 names.
He's a famous he's this black poet slash songwriter. He had a song called poem, I guess, called "Whitey's Going to the Moon." It's in the '60s, and he's talking all about can't pay my rent, but Whitey's going to the moon. My sister got bit by a rat. She has to go to the hospital. Can't pay the medical bills, but Whitey's going to the moon. It was pretty basically the idea. Basically you get where I'm going. Basically,
Sounds pretty anti-white to me.
It was basically these the black poor people are people are suffering in society, but Whitey wants to go to the moon. Such a trivial thing. I gotta go to the moon. I gotta grow my penis while things are they're real problems. It's a pretty moving song. I liked it. I killed the conversation.
Show's over, folks.
But the whole thing is there's no debt crisis. Paul Ryan's big plan to solve the debt crisis is to eliminate Medicare and Medicaid, a program programs that are widely popular and save people's lives. And by doing so and cutting the budget insanely, so all basically on the back of poor and middle class, he's going to end our deficit by 2030. We're in such a crisis that we need to end our crisis 18 years from now.
Yeah, emergency.
It's basically you're in a lot of credit card debt, and they're the only way to solve the credit card debt is for you to live homeless for 18 years.
All right, let's change it.
We don't do politics well.
Yeah, let's lighten it up a
I
little
got
bit.
my rants. You want to hear my rants? Or are we not ready for that yet? You have more?
I thought we just heard one.
That was a rant.
Well, I have a little story.
Go for your story.
It's a perfect example of how men and women are just from different planets. So,
Because boys have peepees and women have vaginas?
no, it's just total mental states that are just, I don't know, we just don't think along the same wavelength. The other day, we're going through the kitchen cabinets, and my girlfriend sees some loose tea bags. Happened to
You teabagged your girlfriend?
No, I did not. That's the other difference. Guys would like to do that more often, and girls aren't that into it. So they happen to be from an ex-girlfriend. So she's like, you're not keeping these, right? And I was like, well, it's perfectly good tea. Why not just make the tea?
How long ago were you dating this girl?
A couple of years ago.
How long does tea keep?
A long time.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, it's perfectly good tea. Why would we throw it out?
How does she know it was from the ex-girlfriend? You were like, that's Laura's tea.
My name was written on it, in not masculine handwriting. Just
On the tea bags?
on the pouch that kept the loose tea.
Your ex-girlfriend wrote your name on everything?
No, because
This is the weirdest story ever.
she worked at a tea shop and brought me home some tea, some gourmet tea.
What kind of hippie were you dating?
It was gourmet tea. That was
This is the strangest story ever. You were dating this girl from the gourmet tea land.
yes. And so
What was her name?
Let's not get into all this.
What was her name?
Her name was Vivi.
Are you just making up a name now?
Yep.
Vivi.
Yeah.
Vivi from the gourmet tea shop.
So I was like, well, it's perfectly good tea. Why would we throw out perfectly good tea?
Let me guess. She said, I want you to throw it away because
Because it smells like your old girlfriend's cunt.
And Bri is correct. And Jay is retarded.
Well, we said the C word about 15 minutes earlier than last.
I don't see why I have to throw out these used condoms from my ex-girlfriend.
Fine. All right, maybe it wasn't I don't see the problem with it.
What if she was like, I have this vibrator my ex-boyfriend used to use on me.
Obviously, that's a little different.
A little personal.
Yeah, obviously it's not a delicious drink.
Okay, what if she had a makeup case that her ex-boyfriend got for her?
These are
And
all completely different.
I'm just saying, would you be okay with her using it in the makeup case?
Yeah. Who
So how
cares?
about that? So how about that government shutdown?
Why did the government shutdown have to affect my tea?
Do you guys want to talk about the Charlie Sheen disaster?
I
No,
think this is
not really.
No.
The ex-girlfriend thing is kind of funny. Brian, what do you think? Do you think the new girlfriend was right to be mad about the ex-girlfriend's items being all around the apartment?
Girls are idiots.
All around, yes. It was just sprinkled all over like little pads. That was the whole.
It was symbolic. I mean, you kept tea bags of your ex-girlfriend. I mean,
You didn't have the
obviously-
tea bag. You weren't tea bagging the tea bags, were you?
No,
Did you sleep with the tea bag on your face?
they were in a cabinet, and I forgot about them actually.
Here's the thing. Also, I know you lived in your old apartment with your current girlfriend. You moved here with your current girlfriend, so you had to have taken these tea bags from your ex-girlfriend and say, "I want to move them to the new apartment."
Yeah, along with all the rest of the tea.
How much tea do you have?
We have about 20 kinds of tea.
Okay.
We have a lot of tea.
Are you starting your own
Whatever.
tea like factory?
I don't think there's anything wrong with having multiple choices when you want to have your evening tea.
Bri, how many types of tea do you have?
Bry's
right
a
now?
bachelor. This is not.
I might have 4 tea bags in my house right now. 4. That's it.
Of
I think
different-
it's sleepy time, actually.
Sleepy time. All right.
Sleepy time tea.
You're married. How many kinds of tea do you have?
I don't know.
I bet you have more than one. I bet
I
you
probably have more than one.
My point is, 7 hours later, I get the question, well, why did you really keep the tea? Was it because it reminds you of your ex, or,
Just tell her, yeah.
Yeah, I think
tell
about
her
her
you put it
every-
under your nose when you masturbate.
Well, for me, it was just like it was tea.
Well, it's a place to keep the naked pictures under.
All right, I see this is going nowhere. So you don't want the play-by-play on what happened at Charlie Sheen's show?
I'm kind of curious. What happened to Charlie Sheen's show?
He's coming here
tonight.
next week or so. I'm hoping to get free tickets, but
He's actually here in Radio City tonight.
AKA 8 days ago. Pre-recorded show, folks.
So Charlie Sheen was on a wildly popular show called 2.5 Men. He then decided to be interesting and entertaining by going off the charts, basically doing interview after interview, and now has his own traveling circus of a show. And I was curious at least what he does to the show, because he's not really a comedian. So what does he do?
So he basically does a lot of drugs, and he has a...
I don't think he do any drugs on the show, though. What does he do on the actual show?
Oh, on the actual show?
Yeah.
I can't get into that show. I don't know. It just...
Not 2.5 Men, the show on Broadway.
Oh, the Broadway show. Well, here's the thing. He
what the
announced...
fuck are you two people talking about? You guys are not on the same page.
No, we're not.
2.5 Men. Well, there's this young kid. He's kind of like half a man.
The problem
and then he
is-
lives with like his.
You know what, Jay?
friend.
Tell us more about the tea.
The problem is,
So this
Mark is nursing his Four Loko, and I have been chugging my Four Loko.
And I'm
Now-
sober, and I got to deal with both of you.
So we're on 3 different wavelengths here.
My wife was like, "Why do you have Charlie Sheen's tea bags in the house?" And I said, "He used to cook for me." God.
Do you have to be stoned to listen to this show? I really don't think anybody sober could listen to the show and say, "Hey, I'm going to read." Maybe that's why we don't have any downloads.
I'm having a hard time following.
The way, hang on, you're assuming anyone's listening to this and then turning it off. People have to listen to it in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so tell me about the Broadway show.
Okay, so he announced he was having a live show. Did not say what it was or what he was doing, and it sold out.
You done with your Four Loko already?
This is it. Yeah, there's
There's nothing
Tickets
left
were
in the
like
can?
they're-
No.
at the
And the
show
Red Bull?
at the show that was playing in Connecticut.
a little bit.
Tickets were $500 for front row seats and a meet and greet with him.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't announce what he was going to do. People just said, "Oh, Charlie Sheen." Now, here's the thing. Charlie Sheen is basically a train wreck right now, right?
You see, on last episode, you put him on the most annoying people around, and I have to say,
Yeah, but that was 2 weeks ago. Things have changed.
Yeah.
he's actually like, I actually like him and find him more amusing than anything he's done since Hot Shots.
What about Hot Shots Part 2?
Actually, I like
what
part two the
about
best.
the chase?
Yeah, that was good too.
Who was in that? The girl was
Henry
hot.
Rollins was in that.
But more
Kristen
important,
Swanson.
yeah, she's kind of hot. The more important thing is he's actually entertaining, and I enjoy watching interviews with him now. I never enjoyed watching interviews with him prior.
Okay. The thing is, he's a train wreck, and basically, if you buy tickets for a show, you're going to gawk at what you may see from a like drugged up, washed up guy, you're not going to see like a legend of the screen, correct?
Sure.
Because,
Jay was waiting for the correct.
well, I just feel like these people like had these expectations of like this amazing show that he announced a month before it went live. So, didn't have any preparation in it, and they're sitting there with their Tiger's Blood shirts or their winning shirts because that's what he posts on Twitter. So everyone has to repeat it constantly. And then when it's not good, they
You know what
like.
would be great
are
if
disappointed.
his entire show, like he never announced what it was. If his entire show was just him reading the dialogue from Annie, Get Your Gun,
It would have been better than what he did.
or Oklahoma, like people are like, what the fuck? Well, you didn't ask what I was going to do for a show, so.
So the doors open, like at 7:30 or something. A comedian comes on at 8:15, who is not Charlie Sheen, and as soon as he starts saying jokes, everyone is yelling "winning" and Tiger's Blood, and doesn't let him say any jokes. So he leaves 15 minutes later.
Who's the comedian?
They don't even say. He didn't even get to say his name because everyone was just yelling at him because it wasn't Charlie Sheen. So then there's silence for 25 minutes.
Okay.
And then there's a montage of videos, most of them not with Charlie Sheen, which seems a little weird. And then,
You showed the latest episode of Modern Family?
yeah. So I guess it's all violent scenes. So that's his thing. It's violent. The violent tour of something bullshit. I don't know what it's called. Torpedo of Truth. So then he comes out.
Yeah, I'm on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, so hilarious. He comes out with like two hookers.
What's more amusing, I gotta say? The interviews that Charlie Sheens are doing, or the tapes from the Mel Gibson screaming?
Mel Gibson.
Because I think it's close, but I
don't even think it's close. Mel Gibson's
Bri,
was
what do you think?
comedy gold.
I don't think I ever heard all the Mel Gibson stuff.
Apparently you don't listen to our show
Yeah, you don't
either.
listen to this podcast. They played like all 7 volumes.
I told you I don't even. No, I never listened. I told you that.
How many of us have heard the show before?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So then he just says a bunch of weird, incoherent shit. Like he has a napalm dripping brain, and he's here to solve a portion of the grand mystery, and I'm here to identify and train the Vatican assassin locked inside each and every one of you. So it's like 15 minutes of just rambling nonsense that makes no sense.
I saw the Charlie Sheen show last night. What did he do? He did the most beautiful opera you've ever heard. We were all crying by the end.
So this goes on for 15 minutes, and then people are booing because they don't like his rambling nonsense, which they loved on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, what else were you expecting the show to be?
Yeah, you know.
But again, like maybe you go there and you like enjoy the fact you get to boo him also. Like this is part of the enjoyment.
I guess. So they boo him, and he yells out, "I already got your money, dude."
And he wins that battle.
So then he plays a video of him playing Call of Duty, which goes on for 12 minutes.
I've got to say, I respect him so more. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I think that is really funny.
That is what's his name, Man on the Moon guy? Andy Caulfield. Humor, level of humor.
Yeah.
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
is his Jewish agent.
Yeah, no, I mean, to have people pay that much money and then to show
How big
him playing a video game for 12
That's
minutes.
so fucking funny. So right now, I already think the show is awesome. Go on.
Well, if you're not paying for it.
Okay, look, like he showed videos of like random videos of people like doing like violence. Then shows a video of him playing Call of Duty.
Well,
This is really like a high end humor. Go
You
on.
forgot the 15 minutes of rambling nonsense.
Oh my, this is great. Go on. What else did he do?
So then he shows.
It'd be great if he like spend the rest of the show like just like sucking in helium and just talking.
So he shows a short film with him and Johnny Depp that makes no sense. It's kind of like an artsy film. And
You could call every movie Johnny Depp made prior to Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah, exactly. So they boo that, and he turns it off in about 5 minutes. So he says he's going to tell some stories about crack because he's in Detroit, and he figures that's a good place to tell crack stories. And the people of Detroit get offended.
Because they're the only people that are not on crack in Detroit?
I guess so. So he keeps talking about crack.
Were they insulted because he like insulted the second biggest industry in Detroit?
And then he says, you paid your hard-earned money without knowing what the show was about. And then he tells more stories about crack. which is pretty funny. Then he plays some rap tributes about himself from YouTube.
You gotta admit, this is hilarious. This is like the best show I've ever heard. This is hang on.
Oh.
What is more entertaining? What you're describing for the Charlie Sheen show, or
This show.
or the show, or that remember that Irish guy who did like the tap dancing?
Oh, Lord of the Dance?
Yeah, this is much better than Lord of the Dance. I saw Lord of the Dance as a part of a family outing. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and no one was booing. At least at Charlie Sheen, you got to boo.
Well, I guess then he composes a live tweet. So it's basically just
Did you check his
texting
email
to his phone.
after?
Then he plays a track he recorded with Snoop Dogg, but Snoop Dogg doesn't show up, so it's really just his part of it. And then that's the end of the show.
Andy Kaufman has a bit where he does like the Mighty Mouse theme, but only
Yes.
he only sings the here I
What
come
part?
to save the day, and then doesn't sing the rest of it.
But he doesn't sing of it; he lip syncs it.
Lip syncs it, which is really funny, and I think Charlie Sheen is the new Andy Kaufman.
There was one skit Andy Kaufman did where he read The Great Gatsby, but he just literally read it until everyone left.
See, I
he
think-
read like
Well,
half
he
the
did
book.
that because he didn't like the crowd.
Yeah.
I think that wasn't that funny, because that's one of those things you're like, oh, I think that's going to be funny. If you hear about him doing that, it's kind of funny, but actually being there is kind of an insult.
Well, that's just what the Charlie Sheen show
Especially if it was
is.
kind of funny. I mean, like,
No, that's not funny if you're there. It's funny.
This
for
is
hearing
kinda
about
funny.
it.
You're
No,
supposed-
it's the same exact thing.
Bri, do you think this is funny? Our conversation, I mean.
If you're there and he's tweeting into his phone, do you really think that's funny?
I mean, this is not like you're expecting like high end shit from Charlie Sheen. What were you thinking he was going to do? A bunch of like skits,
I don't know.
Charlie Sheen like playing President Bush
I don't know.
in blackface, playing Obama.
What are these people thinking? I don't know. I really don't know what they were
They're
expecting.
thinking that they want to be a part of the new trend, which is Charlie Sheen. They want to see a train wreck. They think he has more to say than all the the gibberish that he's had on Twitter and his podcasts and all that. But he doesn't. He didn't. And I don't think he. I think the shows are probably getting better after the first one. I'm sure he didn't really prepare because he figured that he's such a winner that he would just go out there and kind of make it up as he goes along.
Ad-lib an entire show.
You gotta say also that like they paid to see a train wreck, and what they saw was a train wreck. Yeah, I mean, like he gave them exactly what they were paying for.
Yeah.
So I think Charlie Sheen is winning.
Because originally it was only supposed to be like 4 shows. It was like Detroit, New York, a couple other places. But then it turned into this like whole big tour. So like I think when the people bought the tickets to Detroit, they were like, "Oh, he's only doing 4 shows. This is going to be
I mean, I would love if he just did 2.5 Men and was narrating, like just watched like what showed aired episodes, and he was talking like he's like talking about like people on the show, like I hate
like
this
DVD
guy.
like commentary."
Yeah, if that was his whole show, it'd be pretty hilarious.
Like I was talking about that with a guy at work because I'm in this club where I get pre-sale tickets, and I was like, "Anybody want to go to Charlie Sheen?" And this one guy's like, "Yeah, let's buy the cheap seats and just go," because I'm like, "Well, there's a 50% chance he might blow his brains out on stage, so I mean that's worth seeing."
Yeah, there you go.
But we ended up not buying the tickets.
Okay, cool. So
What else, Jay?
Yeah. So what else you got on your list, Jay?
Yay.
Oh,
Are you staring at your Brunchaholics website?
No, somebody stole our Brunchaholics website.
What is Brunchaholics? I always see that you posted that.
It's he goes to brunch with a bunch of people and then like writes reviews about going to brunch.
That's gay.
There's I mean it should just be called Brunchaholic my asshole.
Tossmysalad.com.
That was the original website that Jay wanted, so yeah,
Oh.
a bunch of holics.
Yeah, somebody just stole my site and put it on Facebook.
What do you mean they stole your site?
Well, he made a Facebook page, linked our site, and then said it's his. And I don't know what he's doing, but he
He stole a bad site, like a site that no one goes to. Basically,
Yeah, he's putting up his reviews like it's his. He's putting up our reviews like it's his.
do you know this person?
No, I'm going to join the group and say that's my site, motherfucker.
That's kind of funny. Is it reviews in like other towns he's doing? Okay, this is now we're really veering off on a course if no one knows what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
So what else do you want to go on about today, Jay?
I wanted to talk about the new. It's not really a new bridge, but there's a new name for a bridge in New York.
Let me guess. The Koch.
The Ed Koch Bridge. How many people are going to call it the Ed Koch Bridge?
Do you know the what's the other bridge that's been like? A lot of bridges have been renamed. You don't remember.
Does anybody ever call them the renamed names?
What is it? The
Are you going to jump in the
RFK Bridge, isn't it? Or Bobby Kennedy Bridge or something?
yeah, that's what everyone calls it. The what? The
Triborough?
Triborough.
Yeah, is anybody really going to... Am I going to jump in a cab and say, take me across the Ed Koch Bridge?
If you did, the cab driver would be like, what?
You'd be like, yeah, 59th Street Bridge. Okay. I didn't really have much with that. I just thought that was bullshit that they renamed it. A man dies after 3-day video game binge.
Shockingly, this happened in Asia.
Yeah, he was in China.
Well, at least he died before the earthquake.
The best part about this that you're telling me the story is I've heard it before of people dying playing video games. There's actually one story where a couple played video games while their infant starved to death.
Yeah, there was a mom who beat her kid because she interrupted Farmville.
Yes.
So this guy spent $1,500 in 1 month on video games, which I have no idea how you even do that.
Because they played that they played them in like the cafes where you have to like keep paying to play.
If you have that much money, why not just buy an internet connection, you idiot?
Well, the problem is because they live in like small places where they don't have TVs.
Did you research this?
Well, they have like in like the cities like China or Japan, the homes are sold like they live in little bunks. Mm-hmm. At least they had a thing in Tokyo about how before the earthquake, people would live basically in little cubbies and pay like $500 a month to live in a little cubby.
Ha ha!
And they had it's like a changing area, like a bathroom / shower everyone could use, and they had like a little area where people watch TV, but you just slept in a little cubby.
So this guy had not slept, hardly eaten, and barely moved, and he
What game was he playing?
It doesn't say. I would love to know what game. It's got to be Warcraft, right? It's got to
Wouldn't you
be
be excited if he
Warcraft.
killed himself to like an old school game, like he died playing Contra?
You just couldn't get over Qbert.
Even with 99 lives, you couldn't beat Contra.
Yeah. So
His dying words are, "You mean there's a code?"
yeah. So he played until he went into a coma, which
Does anyone even cry that he's dead?
can you feel bad for somebody like that?
No, not at all.
I can't. I don't
Ryan, do you
know
play
if
video games?
No.
Jay, do you play video games?
I do.
What games do you like to play?
I like a lot of the old school games. I still play Pac-Man.
Aren't you like a Pac-Man champion?
Kinda. I'm in the top like 900 out of about 170,000.
I think there's a lot of things I'm in the top 900 for.
Out of 170,000, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's not bad actually.
I don't know. I play Mass Effect. I play Rock Band.
What's Mass Effect?
Mass Effect is like a sci-fi role-playing game. It's very fun. Yeah. I play a lot of the music games too. Rock Band.
Brian, why don't you play video games?
I don't know. It's never been my thing.
Were you ever into video games?
When I was like 12,
Yeah.
Super Nintendo and
Sega Genesis.
All right. Do you guys want to do a top 5?
Sure.
Sure. Let's start the show.
All right. So we're going to do another top 5.
Yes.
Top 5 companies that should be banned from making commercials.
It's weird that Jay said another top 5, because you just say, I'm doing a top 5, but because we did an episode 12 minutes ago, it sounds like he's doing another.
You just ruined the whole show.
Top 5 companies that shouldn't be allowed to make commercials anymore.
Correct.
We can do a particular brand of commercials they're doing, like or just their overall commercials. Because you can't let's say you want to kill Geico. Well, Geico has 5 different lines of commercials they're doing, 5 different themes. You might not kill all their themes.
No.
You might like the gecko and not like the cavemen or whatever. Not saying. So anyhow, the first one I want to do is those freaking horses that Bud Light does. I hate the horses. They were never clever the first time. I get they're Clydesdale. Oh, they kick the ball. They do this, do that. They're annoying. I can't stand that commercial.
Okay. You want to go, Bri? I'll go.
Yeah, you could go.
Number 5, I'm going to go with KFC.
Their finger looking good.
Yeah, ever since the Colonel died, they just haven't been able to make a decent commercial. And I kind of get a little sickened by that sandwich with the 2 pieces of chicken for bread.
I've never tried it, and I've been
It
curious.
looks good.
Yeah. I think it's actually like a great promotion.
I bet it's good. I would feel so guilty eating one of those.
But you're just saying fast food in general, you'd feel guilty.
No, I love Taco Bell. I don't know. Just like a meat and cheese sandwich with fried chicken as bread. Like, I don't know. Anyway, their commercials aren't good.
This list sucks.
Number 5 for me would be DirecTV.
Would be what?
Right.
DirecTV,
That's a good
like
one.
where they recreate like old movies and stuff.
Yep.
I don't actually know this one. What happens in it?
They redo like Indiana
Scene
Jones.
from an old movie, and then they have like Harrison Ford say, "Oh, if you think it looks good now, it'll look good better on DirecTV," or some bullshit like that.
Yeah. My number 4. Axe body spray. Everything about getting laid because you're wearing some stinky fragrance. And, like, they're trying to convince every 14-year-old boy to wear perfume. Stop falling for it. A, it's perfume. You're gay if you wear it. And B, actually, what they say women are attracted to is your own body odor. So you're actually masking your own pheromones and making it less likely you'll get laid.
There you go.
And you're going to smell like every other 14-year-old fag. Off the top of my head, yeah, Jay. You said I couldn't do anything off the top of my head.
I know, that was pretty good. I'm going to go with Bud in general. Not only those stupid horses.
Wow, way to like, take my idea.
No,
I'm going to repeat Mark's idea. The Clydesdale. That was terrible.
It's not just
I
the
got your
horses,
number 3.
man.
Your number 3 is going to be Axe?
No, they show the close-up of the bottle, and it's like, it's got the perspiration on it, and it's like, oh, the king of beers. It's probably the top 5 worst beers you can buy. And...
Oh, that sounds like another list.
Top 5 worst beers.
yeah, it does. It's just such a bad beer. It's I don't know. I get mad that they play it off like it's such a good beer when they should just say, hey, listen, it tastes like shit, but it's really cheap. We're Bud. They're the king of beers, really? It's really bad.
It is, it's kind of like the king of beers. They always call it the world's greatest, the king of beers. They never say like, kind of decent, it's cheap, just buy
Yeah, the
it.
king doesn't get elected. The king just falls ass backwards into the throne.
Yeah, it's probably because they have like $1 billion advertising budget. So they just throw it in everyone's face. They pay bars to like feature it.
Yeah.
It's really just a piece of shit.
Okay. Bri?
Well, you kind of stole my thunder with Geico, but all the Geico commercials.
Anyone in particular or just all of them?
I hate the gecko. I hate the caveman.
What about the new one, the one with the commercial with the Mr. Danger? Where
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one either.
you know that guy like runs out with the football team and then like he gets into an accident?
No, I never seen that.
I never saw that one.
Oh, you guys freaking...
I'm sure it'll be on about 4 gajillion more times.
Okay, so my number 3, I think we've also talked about this on the show, but the Domino's commercials, where they admit, I think it's Domino's, not Pizza Hut, maybe I'm wrong, where they admit the pizza we've been making for years and selling to you
Yeah, it's Domino's.
takes like duty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we now we're going to make it like decent. We've heard you guys have been saying it tastes like crap all these years. We're finally going to listen to you and make something that doesn't taste like crap.
Yeah, they're like, hey, 95% of people said our pizza tastes like shit. We made it taste slightly less shitty, so everyone on the planet buy it one more time, which is actually a great marketing play, because if it still tastes like shit, they're trying to get everyone to buy it one more time, which would just net them millions
everyone
of
that's
dollars.
tried it, basically, it's $1 million, like $100 million company. They've made tons of money, and everyone's like that's had it before is like, I wonder if it really does taste better, and they go try it. It's a brilliant campaign, but it's a really annoying commercial.
Yeah, because it still tastes like shit.
And they also have those commercials where they have the people like trying Domino's, and they're like, "Where do you think they grow the tomatoes?" And they're like, "Oh, they get them from a factory or something like that." And then they drop the walls of the house, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I was under in a trailer.
suddenly they're in a trailer or something like that. And you're like, didn't the people notice the farm when they walked into the trailer?
No, they while they were asking that one question, they drove 400 miles to a fjord.
Oh my god! Any commercial in general where they have like like a hidden camera, I really hate.
Yeah. All right. My number 3 is Capital One. I don't know.
The Vikings were...
I don't know when they started the Vikings, but they've been running with that for years. It doesn't even make sense anymore.
I have a venture card, by the way.
Do you? I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe the very first one, they actually like tied it in and it made sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Now it's been years, and I don't know why the fuck Vikings are running around, but they're annoying.
I had one of their cards, and I had like their regular Capital One Advantage card, and they called me up and said, "We'd like you to switch over to the venture card." And I said, "Why?" They're like, "Well, right now you have to hit certain like numbers to get like your miles, like 25,000. Then you don't get a higher ticket until you get to 30,000 or whatever for flight." And they're like, "Well, now it's going to be whatever you have, just divide by 100. That's how many miles you have. So if you have 10,000 miles, you have a $100 flight." And so it's actually a better card. And I was like, "I don't believe you guys are trying to trick me." They're like, "No, sir. We're just trying to like." I'm like, "Why would you make something better for me?" I had a half-hour conversation where like they had to convince me they weren't trying to rip me off. And I'm sure they have ripped me off, but eventually I gave in.
Yeah, but they might do what Chase does, because they got like this rewards card, and they're like, well, every dollar you spend, you get a point, and you know every certain amount of points you turn it in. So I signed up for it, and then 6 months later, I get an email saying, in 6 months we're just not going to have that anymore.
They haven't done that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Chase did that. So I have 3 months left, and then it's just over forever. Yeah,
that's really funny.
Yeah,
Bri, what's your number 3?
I still can't think of one.
This is called lack of preparation.
Well, he put me on the spot here.
I went on a pretty long Capital One rant.
That was, you could have thought of something during the Capital One rant.
Well, I have my number 1, but I can't think of anything else.
Just do your number 1 and number 3, and you can think of another one.
No, just
do your number 1.
Just name any commercial that pisses you off.
Just do the number 1. It doesn't have to be in order. Just do your number 1.
Any prescription drug commercial.
Will they list all the side
Tell
effects?
your doctor if you have bacterial meningitis.
You know my all-time favorite?
How about Cialis?
No, my all-time favorite
all
one.
of them.
There was a commercial, they showed it in the movie theaters, before the movie. It was Magic Johnson playing basketball, talking about AIDS medication. So he talked about this medication for AIDS. Obviously, he's a good person to do it, or HIV. And then he played basketball a little bit, and that whole part of it with him talking was maybe 20 seconds. And then the side effects were 3 minutes long, and he just shot baskets while the side effects kept going. It was basically it would do everything to you but kill you. It was you might.
Warning: the medication will give you AIDS.
Yeah.
Warning: the medication will give you AIDS. Your eyes may fall out. You might have projectile vomiting. Your kids might die.
Leprosy.
There might. Yeah.
Number 2.
I was talking too much that I think of my own number 2.
I'll do my number 2 then.
Okay, go.
Change the channel and see if I can find a commercial.
My number 2 is McDonald's. I can't remember
loving it.
ever having a good commercial, ever. I worked for an advertising firm that sponsored them, and...
You're an advertising firm that's sponsored? You mean wrote commercials for them?
Wrote commercials for them, and...
Produced, yeah.
There was no good ones. Radio, TV, I can't think of ever an entertaining McDonald's commercial. It's the same thing as Bud. It's the shittiest of all the fast food chains, but they have the biggest advertising budget.
I'll tell you my number 2, and this is actually a bigger chain than McDonald's. And I'm saying this not because I even hate... I actually like eating there.
Subway.
Jared. I can't fucking stand Jared.
Subway is a great one.
It is really I get it, he lost weight. That lucky fucking bastard wrote a letter about losing weight to Subway, and now he's a congillionaire.
Had I thought about that would have been my number 5.
He's ugly. He's worthless. I would like to punch him every time I buy a Subway.
And he's still chubby.
He's a little chubby still, yeah.
Yeah. He went from fat to a little...
He took off his shirt. He would not look like Matthew McConaughey.
No, he would not.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey's on right now.
He's on in my mind.
You're supposed
The
to be
wedding
watching
planner.
channels with commercials.
I put a
There he
picture
is.
of him on the back on my eyelids. So when I close my eyes, I'm in heaven.
That's sweet. My number 2 is Sports Center.
Really?
I thought they have good commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting annoying now. I'm not really trying.
That's really not trying. I don't like that commercial for Verizon.
I don't like the commercial because it's the first commercial that came on since I turned on the TV. All right. Do you have a number 1 or do you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the number 1. This one, it's just because they did it once. It was a one-trick pony. Now every year they get in the Super Bowl, they do the exact same commercial. and go to their website to check out more, and there's no nudity. GoDaddy.
Oh yeah, GoDaddy.
That's good.
God, and I like no one even half people don't even understand what GoDaddy does. The commercials are just dumb.
Oh, and I went to their site and there's no porn.
Yeah, like go to the website and check out how there's no naked girls. Also,
No, I don't even know where you find it. I went to their site and I couldn't find.
I know how to
Danica
find naked
Patrick
girls
with her-
online. I know not to go to GoDaddy.
Yeah, but I couldn't find Danica Patrick with her shirt off.
Oh God, I really just don't like those GoDaddy commercials.
Okay, my number 1 is Geico. You stole my thunder, but I don't like
Can
any
you
of
think of
them.
something original?
I don't like the.
Bri, go while Jay thinks of something original.
I don't like the
But
Gecko.
it doesn't matter. You can't take something.
My number 1 most annoying commercial is Joan Cusack.
I hate you guys. I hate you guys.
If you were listening earlier,
Last week.
last week.
I get the.
I know in between now and last week, Joan Cusack did a lot for helping save the world from Osama bin Laden. So Jay's really mean for insulting her. But
My God.
All right,
anyone-
my number 1, I don't really think
best
these are
part about-
annoying,
hang
but
on.
I think people do.
the best part about Joan Cusack is no one ever references her without being like, "Oh, that's John's brother, right?" Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how famous she is. What was your number 1, Bri? Sorry.
My number 1 is Progressive.
That's a good
Yeah.
one too. The progressive girl is like really annoying.
She's
That's the one with
annoying
the girl
in
who
that
wears
kind of
too
way,
much.
like I want to hate fuck her.
That's the girl who wears too much red makeup, right?
Yeah, I would like to hate fuck her. You're
I
right.
really wish I thought of that one instead of KFC. KFC was a bad one.
You have to do Geico over. You can't just do. You have to pick something else.
But they're the worst.
I don't care, Jay.
I don't like the cavemen. I don't.
We're
like
trying
the
to
Sorry,
Psychos.
original.
they're taken.
We have to do 5 original ones. So yours is taken. Now just pick something else.
How was mine taken? It's not on anybody else's list.
It's on Bri's list.
I said Geico.
Oh.
Were you not listening? There are 5 things.
No,
Bri
I don't
said.
listen. You
Bri
guys-
said 5 things. You couldn't hear what he said.
And I wrote it down.
Is my mic on?
I don't want KFC though. I want Progressive on mine now.
Well, I said it. You can't say it.
Yeah, I guess.
While you were talking about your Geico thing, Jay was listening to last week's episode about all your strategies and beating off.
I was watching a Joan Cusack movie.
Jay,
Hey, just say Verizon and get it over with.
just say something else, bro. Jay. You got
Verizon.
Say the iPhone.
Oh wow! Way to pick up something Verizon.
I could say that anything right now, and you'd be like, "Wait a second."
I'm just
Say the
saying
iPad.
you're like anti-original.
All right,
Why don't you just repeat my list?
Why don't you bring out your rant list so I can tear that apart?
Oh, okay, fine.
Let's cut to the chase. I'm DJ, and I do a little something called the Green Light Show. Now, I want you to be a fan of the show, so I'm making you listen to this sample. And these girls, they think, oh, as long as I show off my tits, I'm fat. I'll wear this skin-tight shirt and show off all my tits.
Yeah, I see
That'll
that.
look
I see-
real good.
I see that a lot actually, and it's rather disgusting.
And I've heard these girls, they'll say stuff like, well, you're looking.
Yeah, because I want to throw up.
Yeah, just because I'm looking at your enormous exposed tits, that doesn't mean I like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like driving by a car wreck, if I were to see a 6-year-old boy's head smashed and run over by an SUV, just because I can't look away, that doesn't mean I like the way it looks. I went to go see Toy Story 3.
My bad.
I don't mean to spoil the movie for anybody, but Andy dies.
Does he get AIDS?
Andy gets AIDS in Toy Story 3 from a gay orgy. He got drunk. He went up to
At college.
The plot of this is it shows Andy leaving his parents in the beginning, his mom's house.
Yeah, his single mom.
Where the fuck is Andy's dad?
His mom's a single mom.
So the opening
have a
scene
dad.
is just Andy going, "Out of here, mom, fuck off!" And Andy drives off to his college.
Smoking weed.
Andy gets to college, and the first thing he opens the door to his new apartment, and
Yeah.
his roommates, who he's never met, are in there. They go, "Hey, Andy, rub this on your tongue." Andy starts fucking all these dudes. It's a big giant orgy.
Wow.
It's like gays and lesbos and normals, and they're all just intertwined fucking.
That's weird.
And then Woody shows up, but it's not Woody. It's Andy's dick with a cowboy hat on it. And he goes, "Check out my Woody!" If you like what you hear, head on over to greenlightshow.com. You can find out everything about the show right from the homepage. greenlightshow.com. See you there.
I need a garage door opener for my balls.
What the fuck?
I don't like the smell that usually forms down there if I go for a couple days without washing.
I'm proud of you.
It smells like onions wrapped in asshole.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Hey, Dad, remember that one time I got that cock stuck in my ass?
He just went over legs and arms. In a truck not too hard to locate, featuring painted images of a peeled banana, the exposed part shaped like a condom, and a shirtless man saying, "I protect myself." To you.
What kind of fucking question is this? I'm the host of the show, and I get put down on every episode.
I love you, Tim.
John is a man of God.
Shed his precious blood.
Shed his precious blood.
And died.
And died.
Oh, my sin. And now the three guys that taught your mom that thing you like. It's Minor Detail.
MinorDetailPodcast.com.
Got my top 10 rants for the week. Or month.
Mark always comes out with a list of rants, so...
Brian,
Oh, wait, these are 2 weeks old now, right? Because
yes.
So my rants. The rants might be a little bit out of date.
They're usually timeless.
So they're a little bit out of date. So the first one.
Japan.
Why is Japan so awesome? Man, nothing could ever go wrong there. 2. Libya. Man, it's like that Muammar Gaddafi will rule there forever. 3. When will our government shut down? It never's going to shut down. Okay, so
when's baseball season start?
The Red Sox.
So who do you got in the Final Four?
5. Are we ever going to get a black president? 6. Why don't we take down those awful towers in like downtown? They're so ugly.
I get it. What's your goddamn list?
Okay, so the first one, the first one's about going out. You know when you go to a bar? Okay, I don't go out that much anymore. I'm married. I'm lame. Whatever. And last week I was out at a bar, and the bar was really packed. And one of the most annoying things I found about packed bars, it's not so much people trying to all walk past you. The worst thing in a packed bar is you're standing there, you're really tight next, like close in with everyone else, right? Mm-hmm. And suddenly you feel another ass cheek touching your ass cheek. Someone behind you, you kind of like backed into them, and their ass cheek is touching your ass cheek. And you have this moment of almost feeling up that person. Then you kind of pray, I hope this is a female ass cheek. I really hope. You look back, it's a dude. And then, you're like, now do I have to talk to the person? I've had a sexual gay moment with this person. And it's just it's this. And then, you kind of well, should I be the first person to move, or he should be the first person to move? I just want to, not be, And then he moves, and you're like, well, why did he move?
Well, you move forward a little bit.
And they move back.
So, and they take up the space you just made.
Yeah, it's just everything. It's awful about having this, you're in a packed bar and your ass touches another ass. Mm-hmm. Mariah, has that happened to you?
I can honestly say that's never happened to me.
Just never. Jay, has that happened to you?
It has, and I did the same thing. I did what I just said. I moved forward to create a little space, and he moved back and
his ass
took away that space, and our ass is touched again. And
or that person moves first, and you're like, "What's wrong with me? You don't like my ass?"
No, I didn't have that, but
but it's just that weird moment of you're in the bar, you're it's just I just felt some other guy's ass with my ass.
Yeah, it's
my night's not going to get worse from here.
Yeah, I can feel the heat from your ass. We're way too close.
Or if somebody walks by you and then their ass touches your ass when they walk by you, or they grope, they touch your your side of your back as they walk by, and you're like, God, that was an awful moment.
You're like, God, that was hot.
Yeah. Then when a girl walks by and her boobs were against your back, and you're like, oh, that was kind of nice.
Next.
I thought that was a good one. So my next one is about the subway. What drives me crazy, trains get packed, obviously, in a subway. Mm-hmm. I hate when you're on the subway and it's packed and people start getting on and they scream at you and they say, can you move in? And you're like, I can barely breathe, you fuckhead. What do you think we're doing here?
Mm-hmm. That's also combined with Bri. You probably drive everywhere, so you don't have to deal with this. The people where it's a packed train and the train's coming up to the next stop, and they jump out of their seat and they say, "Excuse me," like you have somewhere to go.
Yeah,
in a packed train. And say, "Oh, I'll create all this room so you can walk to the door because you're the only person getting out at this stop."
Or they stand in the doorway and you're like, you could see this open space, and you're like, why are you standing? Could you just like move back a little bit? Mm-hmm. They don't do that. Brian, can you relate?
I mean, yeah, I've been on trains like that, in Boston and New York and stuff.
My list is going pretty fast this week.
That's fine. We already did like 45 minutes of this episode.
Okay, so my third rant this week is about the word irony.
Okay.
I find that the word everyone uses wrong, and myself included. Mm-hmm. What irony actually means is when you're expecting something to happen, the opposite happens. Mm-hmm. Pretty much the opposite of what Alanis actually sings about in her song. Mm-hmm. And so I think the word irony should just be, the new definition should be coincidence. Everyone thinks irony means coincidence. Yeah. So we should just go with that. Instead of having, like, jackasses correct you. When you're like, oh, isn't it ironic that Joe's late? And they're like, well, we expected Joe to be late. And you're like, irony doesn't really mean that. And you want to punch that person when they correct you on it about it.
So your rant is more about the correcting person.
Yeah, my rant is that like we should change. If everyone thinks that the definition of the word is wrong, is something else, let's just change the definition.
So you don't so much have a problem with the person who's misusing the word. It's more the douchebag that corrects you for misusing the word.
Exactly, and I also think that like let's just change the definition. Let's all use it wrong. If we're all going to use it wrong, let's just go with that.
I don't know if you change the definition because
have some of mine here.
Too many stupid people out there. You don't want any more Four Loko?
I'm like sugared out.
It's so delicious. I said about 4,000 calories of Four Loko.
Bride, do you agree? You can just take it and finish it. It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like when people correct stuff like that.
I don't like when they misuse it either, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a balance between misusing, but it's like one of those words, it's not a dumb word to misuse, because everyone gets it wrong.
Yeah.
We're all just a dumb society, so let's all agree on the misagreed, on the wrong definition.
I hate when people pronounce words wrong.
Yeah.
That ticks me off.
Okay. Right. My next one is, so when someone is coming out of the bathroom, and for whatever reason you shake their hand or touch their hand as they come out of the bathroom.
Why would you ever do that?
You do. Sometimes they come out of the bathroom and you just meet them and you have to shake. They're coming out of the bathroom and you have to like shake their hand. Mm-mm. And here's the thing. So you shake their hand and their hand is wet. Mm-hmm. And you feel like kind of disgusted. I feel kind of disgusted. But you actually should hope for their hand to be wet coming out of the bathroom.
I think that's a little better, yes.
Yeah, when their hand is dry, that's actually more disgusting.
You know they didn't wash it.
They definitely didn't. There's no way they got their hand completely dry from that bathroom.
Yeah.
So,
because I don't have the time to stand there in front of that little fan thing.
Or if it's a little bit of wet, maybe that's a little bit of piss left on their hand. If it's soaking wet, they use the faucet.
I've been in a men's bathroom. It's more than likely they didn't wash their hand if it's not wet.
Yeah.
There's a disturbing amount of people who don't wash their hands.
I don't ever wash my hand.
Yeah, we had that conversation before, yeah.
Bride, do you wash your hands?
Always.
Do you get sick a lot?
No.
Jay, do you get sick a lot?
No.
I guess we're all even.
Because, Bri, I know, is total germaphobe. I'm pretty bad. I don't think I'm as bad as Bri, though.
I'm not as bad as I used to be.
Bri,
I'm just not caring.
Would you shake my hand if I pissed on my hand?
I hate shaking hands.
Bri used to have a panic attack when we got off the subway until we went to the nearest bathroom and he could wash his hands.
I used to put my gloves on when I got in the subway.
Yeah. Bri, would you be upset if you were if I tried to lick you?
Yeah, I don't really like being touched or licked.
Yeah. Wash your hands, folks. It's gross.
Or not, whatever. But don't be grossed out if someone comes to the bathroom and their hands are wet.
Or don't be offended if I don't want to touch your hands when you come out of the bathroom, because I know you didn't wash.
My next thing I'm annoyed about, college athletes. Here's what I find annoying.
Okay.
Is that whole thing of like they get annoyed about college basketball. They're like, college stars have ruined the game with the 1 year and done thing. Mm-hmm. They play college basketball for a year, then they go to the pros. What are they doing? They're like they're wasting a kind of an education, and college sports is the only area where like the only profession basically only way to a profession where people are like, oh, don't make money early. If you were like an engineer and Google wanted to hire you out of your freshman year, no one would say you're wasting your time. You're ruining your life by going to like work for Google.
You know what's overrated?
College. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I would have been I'm honestly saying this. I would have been so far ahead in life if I didn't go to college.
There's nothing college prepares you for except for writing the word college in your resume.
I have a job that I had no experience for anyway, and college did not help that at all. Plus, I was studying in college instead of finding out about podcasting and YouTube,
My wife practices corporate law and claims that she didn't even need anything past a high school education to do her job.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
It's totally true.
I think it's a scam.
The only time you actually probably need your education is being a doctor.
Is it safe to say...
Doctors learn enough in school that you actually apply that stuff.
Okay. Is it safe to say, other than a doctor, college is a scam?
Yeah. They say college, the only purpose of college is to kind of like give you, like order you.
And you know what?
No, here's the point.
No. I'm sticking with college.
Here's why.
For a doctor, you go to med school.
Yeah. Well, here's why. They say basically it's to put you in order. That way, like society, when they're hiring, they know to hire the kids from the better schools because those kids are the smarter kids. It kind of ranks you basically. Mm-hmm. That's the only purpose of it. Beyond ranking, like for social value or for who to hire, there's no other purpose.
I can totally see that. Yeah.
There's no other real purpose. But anyhow, I just hate the fact that people like criticize, like if you're college, the fact that they have to go to college for a year before they go to the NBA is absurd to me. The fact that they can't take money from agents, all they have is basically they're ripping off all these poor black kids. They're like, oh, we want to force you to play ball for a year. By the way, don't read your history book about slavery before you can make money.
College is a ripoff. I'm still paying off my college loans. I still have over $10,000 left. I graduated college 10 years ago.
I think the NCAA is the most absurd organization around. Every time they mention a kid and mention how he went wrong and the NCAA like kicked him out of basketball, I'm like, I just think the NCAA is so wrong and they like just picked on some kid. There was this athlete, I guess, Kemba Walker, the guy in UConn that helped them win the title. Yep. I guess like his
UConn won the title?
Yeah, they won the title. So I guess there was another kid that he used to like be roommates with, who was like a bigger star coming out of high school, but he took money from agents, and now he's like 21 years old, and like he's like living in a car, homeless, because he took money from agents coming out of high school, and he should have been allowed to play college basketball, and it's a pretty fucked up system, basically because like he didn't want to like go by the college system, he got fucked.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know, Brian. What do you think of the NCAA?
I think it's kind of shitty the way they. I don't know. The whole thing needs to be fixed. I mean, the schools make millions of dollars off all these kids, and they get in trouble if they borrow money to buy coffee.
Yeah, and they always say
but all the coaches are all crooked. I mean, they're all corrupt because they got to win at all. It's one of those win at all cost things. So they like the thing with the Ohio State coach.
Yeah.
If that guy hadn't won a national championship, he would have been fired a long time ago. But
I mean, I think it's so fucked up. They're like, well, the athlete gets like college for free, and you're like,
which they don't ever go to class. They're all business administration or communications majors. So I mean, how hard can that be?
They barely have time to go to class because they have to concentrate basically on playing basketball. Plus, they're getting what $40,000 a year to play college basketball while the school makes millions off of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's all kind of a fucked up system.
And the one and done thing is really stupid because especially bad. I mean, I don't really watch that much. I mean, I watch the NCAA tournament, but I don't really watch college football that much, or basketball or anything. But the whole one and done in the NCAA is so stupid because I don't know. It's just the kid's leaving, so it's like why? It's a charade.
The whole thing is if you could join a profession early, there shouldn't be any age limits. There's no age limit on joining, becoming like a computer like programming nerd. There's no age limit on like if you want to go into like becoming an electrician out of high school, no one's going to stop you.
Right.
If you want to become a stockbroker out of high school, as long as someone's going to hire you, no one's going to stop you. But like, oh, you want to play basketball? Nah, we discriminate against ball players because they're mostly minorities and have no power.
Well, it wouldn't hurt some of these players to stay longer because the quality of basketball these days is shit. But
yeah, but that should be like that's something we just have the free market determined. Eventually, people will stop drafting these players.
After next year when there's a lockout.
Yeah, well, it's true too. Okay, so my next thing is basically what I call communication in big words.
Okay.
So
I'm intrigued.
Everyone knows someone that tries to throw in a lot of big words in the conversation. Mm-hmm. Everyone thinks that person's a dick. Mm-hmm. I think the purpose of language. The entire purpose of language was to communicate with each other, and that's the basics. And every like culture developed a different language, and it's annoying that people speak different languages in this world because we'd all be a better world if everyone spoke the same language.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But when someone throws out a word that's a big word that people don't know, he's trying to throw out a word that people won't know, which is actually doing the exact opposite of the purpose of communication.
Yep.
So by throwing out this big word, you're being almost stupid, basically. You're showing your ignorance, basically, by not understanding the point of communication.
Yeah, I mean, I could pick a word out of the dictionary that you guys aren't going to know and throw it out there.
Yeah.
It's called being a dick.
Yeah, it's called being a dick, trying to come up with a word people don't know, when it's actually the exact opposite of the use of language.
You know, there's millions of words out there, and most people have a vocabulary of a couple thousand.
You should use your actual goal when you speak. The smartest language is to use words that the most people will understand.
Yeah.
The more your language appeals to the mass audience, the more intelligent you are. It actually shows your intelligence to use simpler words.
My girlfriend brought that up. She's Asian, and she asked, this is like a perfect example. She said, how come you guys, when you say like, big, why do you guys use large, huge, gigantic? Like, they all mean big. Like, why not just say very big, very, very big? You know, like,
she has a good point.
It's a perfect example what you just said.
Yeah, it's just a stupid use of language. Like, you should just use. Yeah, you shouldn't use a bunch of synonyms to mean the same thing. I'm sure there's a purpose or reason behind like how gigantic and all those became. That we should settle on one word.
I think we should have a word kind of like debate and just eliminate like half these words. Like, why do we need 14 words that mean big?
Yeah.
Can't we just say like there's big and there's huge, and all the rest of them are just gone?
Like someone might say like I'm perturbed, and someone would say, well, what's that mean? Oh, it means upset. Well, why didn't you use the word upset? Because I would have understood that, because you would have been smarter if you had said the word that we can all understand.
I feel that way about colors. Why do we need beige? What's beige?
It's just gray.
There you go.
Well, it's technically a different shade of gray.
Light gray.
Yeah, that's true.
All colors should be gray, light gray, dark gray.
Light blue, dark blue, yeah.
There you go.
Eggshell white should just be off-white.
Yeah.
Or dark white.
Yeah, exactly. Everything should be light color, dark color. End of story.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I just think people that try to use big words are actually showing just how dumb they are. Okay. I would use a bigger word than dumb, but I want to appeal to the most amount of people and show my intelligence.
You could say ignoramus.
Yeah.
But then you would be being obtuse.
Yes.
Wow, that was pretty intelligent after like 1.5 4 locos. I've had 5 locos.
Yeah. My next rant is on the everyone texts now, so everyone knows how to text and gets text. What is the worst text you've ever received?
What have you been up to lately?
That's a really bad one, actually.
That's a really bad one.
My sister does that. She'll say, like, how was your trip to Philly? I'd be like, that's a really long answer that I can't, like, that was right back good.
All text should be 4 words or less response.
Okay, well, the text I hate. Bri, you want to chime in? What's the worst text you ever received?
I just hate when you say something and people write back, K.
That's exactly what I was going to write. K.
I hate K.
I hate K so much. It's the most annoying. First of all, like you say, like, let's meet there. And it's like, on 96th Street, you're like, yes. And then they write back K. I have to check my phone one more time for that K.
Yeah.
I don't need the proof that you got the text message. Mm-hmm. It's like the red receipt of your text message.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good analogy. I like that.
I don't like that, but the open-ended question text is... Really, really expect me to type like 2 paragraphs into my phone?
You know what the greatest text ever? Bri, how do you feel about your mom dying?
Too soon.
Sorry. I'm really sorry about that.
Not K. Un-K.
I'm only doing this around the show.
I know.
But yeah, I think K is...
I've made plenty of jokes about it. I could take a few.
I don't know. Everyone doing the K is the most annoying thing ever.
I got one of those today, actually.
My sister will always do that, and always like I have to I put my phone away, and then like an extra minute later I get K back. I'm like, I gotta take the phone out of my fucking pocket again. See her say K. Way to add to the conversation.
I got a work email like that.
K.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to file it to you later today. K.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's like a conversation ender too. You could be in the middle of a conversation, and somebody's like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" "Oh, I'm doing a podcast tonight. I'm doing this tomorrow." Okay.
Or you write back.
That's it. That's the end of the conversation, I guess.
Yeah, good talking to you.
Last night was so hot. That was the best sex ever. Okay.
What number did you dial?
Yeah.
My next one.
What do we have? 6, 7?
We're on number 8. We're going pretty far into this.
How many are there?
There's 10 total. I do 10 every time.
Yeah, he does 10 every time he comes in.
I'm like Letterman.
I should know if I listened.
My next one, I hate PETA. You guys agree that PETA sucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to name fish sea kittens because it sounds cuter and people wouldn't want to fish anymore.
Oh, God. I mean, that could be my rant alone. So I have a cause I wish PETA would attack, just because I think PETA's absurd anyhow with all the things they go after. And I always love to see them go have commercials advertising for this. From PETA, we're out to end one of the most awful things out there, animal homelessness. Do you know that 90% of all animals are homeless? Here at PETA, we're going to end animal homelessness.
We're going to put them all in cages.
All in cages. There are animals living in the woods. In the woods.
My God.
My God.
Those poor homeless squirrels.
There are squirrels that are just homeless. Lots of when people even try to build homes for squirrels, and they have too much pride to ask for a quarter.
Did you guys see the roast of Pamela Anderson?
No.
My favorite comedian.
Yeah, I think I have.
My favorite alive comedian, Jeff Ross, was on there. And
not Greg Rolder.
Pamela Anderson is a member of PETA.
Yeah.
And Jeff Ross came out in this huge fur coat. And first he said, "Don't worry, it's made out of 100% puppy." And then he said, "What? You're a member of PETA, people who eat and torture animals, right?"
Did you see they did the Donald Trump roast?
I didn't see that one.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I gotta say, first off, who's the Family Guy guy? Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He was by far the best guy of the night.
All right.
Like, he was 1,000 times better than everyone else.
Cool.
The other best part of it was the situation that jokes.
I heard he bombed so bad.
Yeah, it was so funny how bad he was.
Awesome.
But some of the other comedians were pretty bad also. Like, they weren't that much better in the situation. Mm-hmm. But Jeffrey Ross was pretty funny. But Seth MacFarlane...
He's always awesome. I saw him live, and he was just amazing.
Seth MacFarlane dominated. But it'd be great if they went after animal homelessness.
Yeah.
They always like, also they have the things like, they do things like the ASPCA. These dogs don't have a home. I'm like, I think 90% of dogs don't have a home, actually. Just put them out. They have a home. Just release them into the wild. That's where they're supposed to go. I don't know why they put animals to sleep. Just let them roam.
Yeah, I never understood that either.
Because these are like, they're screwed because of the one animal they're supposed to have a home.
Do you know, I would have actually adopted a dog recently, and I was
like 8 cats?
I have 1 cat. 1 cat. I would have adopted a dog recently, and I was like, how much is this dog? Oh, it's just $8.50.
$8.50 to adopt a dog?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's $8.50?
Yeah, obviously not.
It's
not the cost of your gym.
$850. Oh, it comes with a year's free dog food. $850. Like, that dog's going to die.
Yeah, you're not going to adopt it because you can't afford it, and they're like, can't afford you. They're going to put you to death.
Yeah, it's completely ridiculous that adopting a pet is that much money.
They also, PETA never goes after the sale of animals. They're never like, they would go after the sale of people, but they wouldn't go after the sale of animals.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I just think the PETA, it's just such a dumb organization.
So that dog is probably going to die.
Yeah.
And I would have adopted it if it was not $900.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're better off as an animal. Like, a dog's one of the worst animals to be. Mm-hmm. Because every other animal, a squirrel's not expected to have a home, but a dog is supposed to have a home. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get lucky enough to get picked, they're like, I got to put you to sleep. And he's like, I can just exist out there. No, you don't have a home. I have to put you to death. But I'm just fine out there.
No, we're going to put you in this cage for 6 months, and people are going to stare at you, and if nobody pays an exorbitant amount of money for you, we're just going to murder you.
That and birds. Birds they have put in cages. Yeah. Birds are like, are you kidding? I live up there.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I fly. You are putting me in the worst possible place ever.
I was blessed with the gift of flight. And Thank you for tying me to this log.
Oh, my God. I can just fly into the cage and fly back. Do you understand? I could fly to freaking Europe, and you're leaving me here.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel extra bad for birds. That's just stupid. All right. On that downer note, what's number 9?
Number 9. We're talking... So... Viagra jokes have obviously been done forever, and whatever. I can't make any new jokes about Viagra, but I'm going to talk about one anyhow. The most recent commercial I saw of Viagra, they always have the dumb warnings, and the warning was, if you experience sudden loss of hearing or vision, call a doctor. Mm-hmm. When in your life would you experience a sudden loss of hearing or vision and need the advice to call the doctor?
Yeah, that's a good point. That would be my first instinct, I would think.
I would think anytime I lose my vision or hearing, I'm going to the phone. I'm dialing 911. I'm going to call my doctor at the very
It was the idiot who stumbles around their apartment for an hour.
Yeah. So, Jeff, how long have you been blind for? A month and a half. But I imagine this will go away.
If you can't see and you can't see the phone, though, it could be a problem.
At least you could, alert, Helen Keller style, someone else to, dial the doctor.
It's not like every phone has the numbers in a different spot. I'm pretty sure you could feel your way to the number.
It's not like you're like, oh, there goes the hearing. I guess I should learn Braille.
Yeah, who's this recluse who has nobody to dial the phone for them?
I guess you lose your hearing, but that phone call sucks.
At least you could have the hooker call 911, I guess.
You also, when you're taking Viagra, there's a good chance there's someone else there to help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
No one takes it off just beating off has been sucking. I feel like I don't get hard enough for myself. Now I turn myself on. Number 10, and the last one on the list. I've noticed that a lot of things are outsourced these days. You notice every time you call up information or call up customer service, you always get someone from India. Mm-hmm. And I thought of something they haven't been outsourcing yet, and I kind of want to introduce outsourcing for.
Okay.
Confession in church. So it'd be great if you were thou Father, whatever you guys say. Thou Father, I have sinned.
There's been blank, blank, blank since I have had...
It's been 5 weeks since I have had a confession. I have cheated on my wife. And they'd be like, oh, sir. Actually, can you use an Indian accent? I can't do one.
All they do is, you will be doing 3 Hail Marys. You will be liking to do 5 Hail
You'll be liking to do 5 Hail Marys.
I mean, that's all they tell you to do anyway. You could be like, I killed a hooker and then skull fucked her. Do 20 Hail Marys. It's just however bad it is, you just do more Hail Marys.
You just press a button, basically, and they're like, what was your degree of wrongfulness?
Yeah,
1 to 5.
Scale 1 to 5. How violent was it?
1, I may have cursed. 5, I killed off a group of people. I think I'm a 3 on that. Say 30 Hail Marys.
Yeah, that whole...
At least you go automated. You're right. That's a job. If all jobs go automated, really the priest job and confession should go automated.
Is there anything more self-serving than confession? No matter what you did, you just say it, and they tell you to say a couple prayers, and you're good.
My understanding is the whole thing with Jesus is that on your deathbed, after you've tortured 5 hookers, you could say, "I give myself to Jesus," and he's like, "You're getting into heaven." That's another hooker torturer that gets into heaven.
Yeah. As long as you say it before you die, not after, you're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm not really religious.
I think Brian checked out.
What? Are we still doing this thing?
Not anymore, actually.
Yeah, that's about it.
That was my contribution.
Well, that was good. Thank you for listening, everybody. We are we're done for today. Thank you for joining us, guys.
No problem.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Download, subscribe on iTunes, join the Facebook group. Go to brinkofsanityshow.com for more regular updates. 631-676-1181 is the voicemail number.
We're having a contest. Get a Brink of Sanity tattoo. That's the entire contest.
Yeah, that's just the contest. There's still shirts available.
You win a tattoo.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know is on Brink of Sanity.
If you get a Brink of Sanity tattoo, Jay will feature you as our new logo.
Yeah, perfect. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week.
Liar.
Be back in October.
Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.